Right, I don't profess to be any sort of David Bailey with photography, but as I come round, these caravans, which are right adjacent to the beach wall, were actually in the road that night, but they've managed to hook them back into safety so that the road is essentially passable, although they're not letting any non-residents through, or we are getting obviously some emergency type services through, but no sort of onlookers. They're having to park outside Walcott and walk in. I'm going to carry on walking down now. Opposite the caravans there's a field, and it might not be a very good view because, as I say, I'm doing this on my video on the iPad, but there's lots of debris been left in the field. Gas bottles, the field was flooded. There's gas bottles, sort of barrels. The beer barrels were there from the pub. Don't know where they had them stored, but they were there. Some of our stuff from our property is actually in the field. We've not bothered trying to salvage any of that. It was obviously stuff that was in the garden, but that's the least of our worries at the minute. And as we come down, it's actually a really beautiful, bright and sunny day. But cold. It's as if it's the calm after the storm. Just walking down now. If you're bearing with me, I'm going to just swing round and go across the road, and we'll have a look out to sea just for a moment. Again, the caravans, as I say, they were completely obliterated. I'm not sure what that is. Just fell down a hole. Obviously there's lots of concrete. This is the back of the caravans. As you can see, the seawall, and obviously they've just been completely ripped from their standards. As you can see, cruel sea, crueler than that on Thursday night for us at Walcott. Down. Obviously this is where the road is closed, and this is really the Poacher's Pocket end. This would be the road that, obviously the coast road. I think we probably, with the amount of sand, could call it Beach Road now, but this would take you out towards North Walsham, but there's no access from North Walsham, as you can see, because the police have put a barrier up and made it inaccessible. I'm going to carry on walking down on here. You can see the back bungalows towards the back of the field. The last ones I don't believe had any water in. I think the water did get down as far as there, but I think the ones at the very bottom of our road actually were potentially dry inside their properties, although I don't know that for definite because I haven't seen the neighbours of that far down the lane. This is Billy's field. This lovely bit of land here is normally open to people in the summer, sort of from spring through to October, for parking when people come down to the beach to enjoy Walcott seafront. But as you can see, this end was a grassy bank here, but a lot of it's been carved away by the sea. But as we come towards his gate, that's his little holiday chalet, which is a little slate thing. People know it quite well, really, who come down to Walcott, but that's obviously damaged inside and had water in. The little Archon shed is damaged. As you can see, the fences are completely caved in. The metal ones obviously stood the test of time, but the wooden ones have gone, and this wall has completely gone. There is no wall left protecting his property. I'm now coming down past the slate cottage, heading towards ours. I'll give you a little aerial view out to sea, because it really is a beautiful morning apart from the cold. I am shivering. I managed to get some hot water this morning, so I managed to wash my hair. As we come down, beautiful sea views, and again more debris strewn everywhere. It's obviously going to take time to clear up. Now this is the start of our bit of land here, which is obviously on the road front, and we had a, well, it just looks a mess really. It's too difficult to describe what was there. We had a big shed the other side of that blue and red boat and white boat that has completely collapsed, and there's just complete garbage everywhere. Our oil tank was the oil tank you see stand there, which was the heating oil, is empty. The valve broke. It obviously got swept off its stand and the valve broke, and the oil, the heating oil, is well, it just went in with the sea surge and contaminated everything. The land is now completely muddy. It was sort of a hardcore there, but it's now completely muddy and slushy. Car, which hopefully I think is going to be all right. I managed to get that to a bit high ground mine. The boat has moved. It is on a trailer, but it has moved. Not much, but it did move. But obviously, at least it didn't go to the Hook of Holland. Our grassy bank, actually, in fairness, actually stood up the test of time. The water just obviously was so high it went completely over it, and we just had the end piece here, which is the corner of our property or our land, was taken out. Now the barrier here, that's to stop people going past ours really. That's the police have put that in place, and that's to stop people going down to where the other barrier is, where the caravans are, as I say, badly damaged, and obviously they're waiting for removal really, and that could be a week away. It just depends what happens during the week. As you know, it's Sunday now. Not a lot happens on a Sunday, but I know people here will be working hard to clear up their properties. This is ours. I'll come back to ours obviously when I come back from going up the road, but we did suffer water damage to the bottom of the property. We had some friends over yesterday, and as you can see, we've already made a start on chucking out the carpets and the garbage, and we've started to just make a start on piling it up, ready for the council to come in and hopefully take everything away for us. The lane, going down the lane, as far as you can see, we've all been affected. Going down the lane, it's just obviously very upsetting for everybody. I'm just going to give you a little view out to sea again, because the sea is actually splashing up at the moment. We're not high tide yet, but it will be coming up, I think. I'm not sure today because I've sort of lost track of time, but it could be between 10 and 11. This is the Gap End, or the Gap End bungalow. Obviously devastating for the owner, and was obviously lots and lots of water. Difficult to estimate, but I would imagine because of the surge there was a good metre. But I know she spoke to somebody yesterday from BBC Radio, I believe, and they had a sort of bird's eye view of the inside of her property. She also had a ruptured heating oil tank, same as us, sustained damage. The heating oil obviously contaminated everything, so there was a real strong of heating oil when we eventually got back to the property on Friday. We only did that by coming across the farmer's field, which I was filming a little while ago for you. These two front bungalows, Jane's Wall actually, although has been took down, and as you come down, these properties also had a brick wall in front of them here on the edge of their garden, and that's been completely taken out. Again, these properties are quite low lying. I would estimate, again, there was probably a metre of water in these, but I don't know that obviously for certain. But just for the pure volume of the sea surge, that's all I can really imagine. And I believe one of them has been back to their property to sort of have a look, but there's nobody there. They're obviously out at the moment, obviously in emergency accommodation somewhere. We're now coming up to, this is Helena Road. People down Helena Road obviously affected as well. Obviously I don't know how badly affected, but this is Helena Road. This is Fisherman's Cottage. Actually used to own this. Actually stood the test of time. We obviously secured it well when we owned it, but obviously they've got fence damage. As far as I know inside the property, I don't know whether it's dry. They are there, and I won't carry on because it's a bit distressing for people, as you can imagine. This looks like the council services are probably just starting to arrive. I'm not quite sure. But obviously this road is completely covered in sand all along really, and again Kingfisher, that's the fish and chip bar which people all know from the summer months, very popular. Again, water damaged, I believe. As you can see, I don't know if you can see these, there's some metal railing steps that the council put in. They're obviously very hazardous now, I'd imagine, and really should be removed at some point when safe to do so. Not that we'll be looking to use those at this time of the year. That's obviously the Kingfisher ice cream parlour. They actually got a broken window there. The force of the sea surge took the window out, and I know they've received water damage inside. They were clearing up, like us yesterday, and clearing up their property. You know, I think we're really lucky because we've had friends come and help us and family in the afternoon yesterday, and you know, it's been great, and you can see that lots of people, I'm sure, have also received the same sort of help, hopefully, and from people probably they don't even know. Up here yesterday, when I come up here yesterday, the owner of the post office was outside with, I dread to think how many people, but they were actually trying to clear the forecourt of the post office, the shop, so that he could actually open today. And he is open from what I can see. He's actually managed to get the shop open. The door's open, and I did hear that they were going to try their best to get the stores open so that people had access, obviously, to the food and milk and stuff. And it does look like they're open. Cars are coming and going now, and they managed to clear quite a bit of the forecourt with lots of people helping. These caravans, the caravan you see there on the front wasn't there yesterday. That had actually moved from the front and actually went up the centre of those caravans that go up each side. It actually moved completely from its standing and gone up between the caravans on either side. But they had, I think it was Orchard Caravans, come yesterday and put it back into place. Obviously don't know what sort of damage that's received. Post office, as you can see, they've managed to get quite a bit of sand off that forecourt yesterday. That must have been absolutely back-breaking, but you can see the mound of sand that just people with shovels managed to do yesterday. I think they did have a small digger as well, but at least he's managed to get the forecourt clear, and as I say, he's trying to provide a service for the local community. Walcott Caravan Park. The chalets on the front have been badly damaged, I do know that. Their windows, the frontage of one, as you can see, is now boarded up. I don't know if you can see it very clearly on here, but it is boarded up. Obviously I'm not sure about the cliff top properties which are further down the view there, as you can see. I'm not sure about those. I know some properties going round the bend as far as the sort of exit of Walcott. The water went down as far as the exit out of Walcott, and I'm not sure what sort of damage those properties have received. Looks like the slipway is still intact. I just wanted to do this video really just so people, or even just for me really, could sort of really get a bird's eye view of the sort of devastation that we have got here at Walcott. But I'm going to close now. Go back because I've got a lot of clearing up to do myself, so I'm now going to close.